And welcome to this Math Fun segment. Today, we're going to learn to solve by completing a square. This is a process in which you need 6 steps. It's really easy if you get each step. First step is write the equation in x plus bx equals a form. So what is this? Imagine we have this problem as an example. We have x squared minus 4x minus 7 equals 0. The first step would be to leave the x and the negative 4x alone and pass the 7, which is the 8, to the other side. So we would rewrite it like this. That's the first step. Second step is to half the x coefficient. When you talk about the coefficient, is the number that is before a variable. In this case, it would be the 4 right here. So if you have the x coefficient, an important part first of all is that you need to take the sign before the coefficient, which would be negative. So you take the coefficient, which is negative 4, and you halve it. So just do this. If you do this and you simplify, it will give you negative. So from the last step, you got this. So next step is that you need to square the result. The result would be this. So if you square negative 2, it would give you 4. That's the third step. In step number 4, you return to the original equation, which was x squared minus 4x equals 7. So it is added the result to both sides. This is the important part, both sides. So you add the 4 that you got in step number 3 to both sides. You do x squared minus 4x, just copying this, and then plus 4. And then you do the 7 plus 4. And in the same step you also have to simplify this, and it will give you 11. So now you can factor the left side. Step number 5. If you have a 4 and a 4, you have to get two numbers that if you multiply, you get positive 4, and if you add, you get negative 4. Try to get them. Okay, so it's x minus 2 squared, or x minus 2, x minus 2 equals 11. You can see that if you multiply negative 2 times negative 2, you get 4. And if you add negative 2 plus negative 2, you get negative 4. So now we're here in the 6th and last step. It's just solve. Now that you're already factored, you can pass the square to the other side. So you just copy this, equals, and remember, if you're going to pass it square root, you have to include this plus minus sign right here. So that's it, and then you have to leave the x alone, so you get the answer. So you just pass the negative 2 to the other side, as you copy this side, and then plus 2, and that's your answer. You leave it right here. Let's practice once more. You get this equation. 2x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals 0. Notice that you have a 2 before the x squared. You gotta get rid of that in order to get this form. So what you do is you divide every number in the equation by 2. If you do this, you cancel both 2's and you stay with the x squared. You get negative 3/2 x and negative 1/2 equals 0. So now to end this first step, you have to leave the x squared and the negative 3/2 x alone. So you pass the negative 1/2 to the other side. So you just copy this same way and pass this to the other side. That's the first step. Now let's pass to the second step. Half the x coefficient. If you see here, the x coefficient was negative 3/2. You gotta take the sign before. So if you half it, you're getting it divided by 1/2. So you apply the Matias step. You multiply this and this, and you get negative 6/2 or negative 3. You've already mastered this by now. But just to make sure, we're going to put one more problem. You have x squared plus 8x plus 12 equals 0. So, by the steps we showed you, first of all, you would do x squared plus 8x equals negative 12. But, first of all, before you even do step 1, you have to ask yourself, can I factor this equation by itself? Can you? The answer would be yes. You can factor it by making two equations. Two numbers that if you add, give you this number, and you multiply, give you this number. What would those numbers be? They would be plus 6 and positive 2. If you multiply 6 times 2, you get 12. If you add 6 plus 2, you get 8. So if you have this problem right away, you can just right away say that you pass the 6 to this side to get this x, and it would be negative 6. Same with this one, and we get negative 2. So this would be the answer.
Thanks for watching.